The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
By popular demand, the mayor of Evergreen Park, Kelly Burke, on this show. An Evergreen Park ice cream shop that's been here for 3 decades on this program. And Hannah and I finally checked out Spoke and Vine on the northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. You went on Wednesday night.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yes.
So tell me what it was like for you when you walked in there. This is one of the more hotly, waited on establishments in Evergreen Park. It was announced over a year ago. They've had the sign out there for a while. People keep asking me, when is this wine bar opening up? What were your impressions when you went in there for the soft open on Wednesday night?
The ambiance is what got me. The decor, the open space. It didn't feel like you were in Evergreen Park. It feels like something that would have been in downtown.
I don't know if I go downtown.
A hotel
Lamont,
bar.
maybe. I'd say Lamont.
Yeah, like a hotel bar.
I'm fancy, so
it reminded me of a nice
fancy.
hotel. It reminded me of a nice hotel bar because it had the bar, it had the sofas that you could sit at, it had the tables. I really liked it. What I like is they're wines that you can't just run to Benny's and get. They're different wines. So if you do a flight, you're going to be trying different types of wine. The food is just so fresh and so good. The service was great. It's an open space. I just liked everything about it. It's a great place for girlfriends to go just to have wine to catch up. It's a great date night to go out, and you're not that far from home. That's the great part about it.
Let me tell you the thing that hit me first.
What hit you first?
What hit me first was...
There's no telling.
At the bottom of the menu, it says 21 and over.
Oh, yeah.
21 and over to be on the premises.
Yep.
I love that. My wife loved that.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is why. Because I don't want to have a bunch of young moms who've decided they're going out and getting white girl wasted and bringing their toddlers with. You know what I'm saying? I want an actual adult bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, that, we don't have enough
And everything
of those
is family friendly in Evergreen
here.
Park.
And I get that, and I love it. But you know what? An adult bar.
Not everything has to be, though.
An adult bar is cool. We
The
walked into a place.
babysitters are making money.
Right. There were no children, and they're not allowed. And I thought that was great. I'm sorry, but I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really nice to go into a trendy place and your children aren't welcome. Mm-hmm. I watch. I'll find out that that's not the case, but it was written on the menu.
It's written on the menu. No,
Yeah.
Reed, the owner, told me last night. He's like, get a babysitter.
Right.
He said everybody in here has got a babysitter.
Yeah, you got to be 21 and over to walk into the place. Because I know my daughter was like, well, can I be a hostess? And they kind of looked at her like she had 3 heads. This is a grown-up place.
Yeah.
And you walk in there, and I think that I'm going to echo some of the things you said. It is trendy. It is nice. It is high class. The food was great because, I had these dates that were bacon wrapped.
Yeah.
They were amazing. And I was like, well, okay, that's good. That's a solid meal. You want to get the best value on the menu if they keep doing it. Because they had it there. They put out this meatballs platter.
With the toast points.
The meatballs are huge. They're the size of the microphone here. I mean, you see this? It's like a giant.
They give you 3 of them.
It's 3 of them with all kinds of bread around the thing, toasted bread around it. You could sit down, you and your significant other, and you could just get the meatball tray and have some wine, and you'd be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could get a flatbread and you could be good. We are trying all kinds of items
The
because
pesto flatbread, I highly recommend.
we were trying to figure out what the place was all about. So we were trying everything, right?
Yeah.
But you could go in and have a very reasonable night because the portions were so good.
Yeah.
That you were like, I don't need to buy a lot.
They don't skimp.
No, they don't skimp
skimp.
at all. And
No.
that's what I like that. And I also like that. I will tell you a couple tips. I will tell you this. The wine flight that they suggest is a great value.
Mm-hmm. I tried it.
When you compare it to if you individually pick the different wines. Okay. And then if you know what you want, get the big glass. Because the big glass is the value. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those guys.
And they offer 3 different size
right.
pours.
But I walk into a place and I look at a menu and I go, how do I get the most alcohol for the least amount of money? I'm doing measurements.
You're bargain shopping.
Oh, I'm doing measurements in my head. How do I get the most alcohol for the least amount of money? So get the big pour. And if you want to do the the samples.
Yeah.
Do the house tasting they suggest rather than build your own. You'll get the most for your money.
You will, and they're good wines. I did the red flight. I didn't try the white flight.
Yeah, I
but
don't
did
like
the
white
red.
wine. White wine is disgusting.
Oh, it's not disgusting.
It's gross.
Well, like Moscato.
It's
like,
awful.
yeah, that's disgusting.
It's all of it's terrible. I don't
come
like
on.
any of it.
Pinot Grigio's not bad.
No, terrible. It's all bad.
Terrible.
Everything's bad. If it's not
Terrible.
red, if it's not red wine, it's terrible.
Terrible.
It's not, they shouldn't even be called wines, as far as I'm concerned.
Sugar
They're
water.
flat champagnes, is what they are. White wine.
Sugar.
That's all they are.
Sugar.
Okay, but you had the what? The red wine?
I did the red flight,
All
yeah.
right,
And
yeah.
I had a rosé. I had a glass of rosé, and because it was a summer night, it's like, oh yeah, I had some rosé.
Yeah.
It was good. I went with a girlfriend. It's a perfect place for like just you catch up with your friends and just sit at the bar. We met new people. We met new friends that were sitting next to us. We stayed till you can kind of tell they're flipping the chairs over on the table, like, hey, let's get out of here. But I liked it. I'm glad that Evergreen Park can offer something like this and that it's adults only.
And that quick look at Spoken Vine, Evergreen Park's brand new wine bar, and everything that's going to happen on this episode. Brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. They are our proud sponsors here on the EP podcast. They are part of Wintrust Community Banks, which is once again #1 in customer satisfaction, winning the J.D. Power Award for it 2 years in a row. It's probably because of the $300 you get when you open up a checking account. It's probably because the ATMs are free anywhere you use them. It's probably because there are no overdraft fees. And over at the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, when I walk in the door, they know who I am. Big time interest being earned on CDs, savings accounts. Get in there. Get an account for the kids. I use them for all the kids in the family. Visit them today in that iconic building at 95th and Pulaski, the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Join us on the phone line right now. She was recently the #1 answer in our survey that's still going on. You can still talk about the things you love, the things you hate, the things you want to hear more of on the EP podcast. The #1 most requested guest, Mayor Kelly Burke. How are you?
Wow. Okay.
Everybody wants to hear from you.
Well, they can just stop at Village Hall and talk to me or come to a meeting, but that's nice to hear. I'm doing great. Really enjoying summer and, just getting excited for all the stuff we've got going on.
Awesome. So I was just out at I don't even remember what park I was at. I want to say that I was over by the ball fields, Norris Field, if they still call it that. I sometimes things change, but I saw this one park on the corner, and I hadn't been to that field in a while. And I looked over, and I'm telling my son, who's my older son, who's in high school, I'm like, remember when you used to play? That park looked completely different. Now it's like beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's been all redone, and that seems to have been in the first couple of years one of your big pet projects, your initiatives. I've seen a lot of work on the parks, and you kind of spearheading like, hey, let's go out to a park. Let's look at like what the options are. Tell me what you want from your park. And you see all these parks getting updated. You must have redone most of the parks in Evergreen Park.
Well, I mean, Jim Sexton did quite a few of them too. And, he's obviously credited with expanding our park. Back when I first moved in, there was no Yukich, there was no Sexton Park, so those were all initiatives that, predated me, and those have been hugely beneficial for the village, and I thought we need to keep up the investment. We may not be able to find, vacant land anywhere around here, but we need to keep up the investment because people love it. And it's so interesting that you say this, Chris, because I really have been pushing it. The Senior Council, which is a group that meets once a month at the community center, and it's, they like to have different topics, and they have entertainment at their luncheon every month. They requested that I come out and tell them everything that was going on at all the parks. Interesting.
Yeah, the parks are becoming like a really big deal. Beyond parks, are there pet projects? Are there things you have in mind coming up?
No. I think we're pretty set on what we're doing, for the rest of the year. We start working on our budget again, like in late fall. And we start to look at, what we need, what resources we have. I mean, we've done a lot of improvements in the past couple of years. So, we'll have to step back and see where we need stuff and, see what needs sprucing up, what needs fixing, and where we can make some improvements.
I remember last year was kind of a mess, I want to say, in the Southwest Quadrant with all the redoing of the streets and the curbs and everything like that. It looks like it's going a little bit smoother over in the Southeast Quadrant, at least from what I can see when I go down 99th Street.
Yeah, I think they're actually almost done. It obviously was a much smaller project on 99th Street than doing a whole grid of streets, but that moved along pretty well, and they were blessed with. Well, I don't know about blessed because we're in a drought, but they, weren't rained out, and that was a real good contractor. So it moved along pretty well. So they're not 100% done, but I'd say they're about 95% done. So right now they've got the punch list going, getting the restoration of the parkways, all that kind of stuff. So that went pretty well.
So we have a new social media manager here, and so she's much better at getting listener questions. So because she's on everything. Okay. So I have a few of them that have been given to me. So one that we were asked, this one was through Instagram. Are ice cream trucks not allowed in Evergreen Park, and if so, why not? I didn't even realize this, and then I thought to myself, I've never seen an ice cream truck in Evergreen Park. Is that a real thing?
I'm going to have to speak off the cuff, and I'm hopefully going to answer correctly, and I'll call you back if I'm speaking incorrectly. I believe they are banned, and I think they're also banned in Chicago. And there was an incident in Beverly, I'm going to say about 20 years ago. A little kid was run over running after the ice cream truck. I think there was a kind of slew of places that decided that having kids run out in the middle of the street after a truck wasn't the best thing in the world. But I'm going to double check that.
That's fine. I understand. That's a weird one to throw out at you. I felt bad the moment I said it to you. Like, how does she know about the ice cream trucks? Here's one here.
Somebody's going to know about the ice cream trucks, so I got to find out.
So this next person brought up the fact that Evergreen Park Police Department, the last few times that they've been in the news, it's been over in the same area. They had a foot chase that was in the area of the Walmart over there. They had a thing where there were ducks that were stuck down in the sewer, which was more of a cuter story that they had over there. Is that the most active area of the village and the most patrolled? Do you know?
Well, so our retail area, which is primarily Western Avenue, and then coming east from Western. I mean, it's the highest traffic counts. It's the most people coming into the village. It's the most activity. Primarily retail theft, but also confrontations between customers and employees, confrontations between people, just happening in the parking lot. So, I mean, just because of the sheer numbers of people coming through that area, that probably is one of the most active part. And what's interesting is that's also where we get a lot of our flock hits, that flock license plate reader camera for stolen vehicles.
Yeah, the scanners, yeah.
We get a ton of hits, and they've been able to recover stolen vehicles from the parking lots.
That's great. I was recently over and speaking with somebody at the Macy's there, the Market by Macy's, and I got anecdotally that basically everybody deals with retail theft, but Evergreen Park PD did a very good job of basically setting up and doing their best to squash it, because they were like, we're not going to let people just walk in and walk out with stuff. Yeah,
and I know, Macy's took advantage of our PD's offer for them to come in, to have PD come in and give them some pointers and things like that for their loss detection people in store. And so we were able to have a nice partnership and, give some things and some, I don't know exactly what they told them, but, some pointers and some good strategies for dealing with that, that they've learned over the years.
Speaking of EPPD, and I don't know how much you know about this, but can you take me through your knowledge or what you understand happened with, they had recommendations, they gave them the Most Holy Redeemer. Most Holy Redeemer ends up canceling that festival out of safety. I don't know if anybody knows the story. There was a group that was getting together on Facebook and targeting festivals. They had done something in Tinley Park where they had gone and tried to start fights, and it was like basically mob action that was happening. And from what I understand, EPPD said, "Yeah, we can't tell you to cancel it, but we don't think it's a good idea to have it." Is that accurate? Like, what can you take me through that process?
You know what? I wasn't in that conversation. I don't know that that's 100% accurate. The reading I got on it was we were, prepared to staff the carnival just like we've done in years past. But given what had happened in Tinley Park and some other places, that there was a recommendation for some supplemental security. And I mean, we have to, get our officers to take overtime and things like that to do security for events. And it's not always easy in the summer. So it was, not a situation where we had the manpower to heavily increase what we could do. So I think there was a suggestion to the folks organizing the carnival that they should, look for some supplement to it and, have a security plan and work together to come up with a security plan. And then after deliberation with the carnival committee, it's my understanding that they came back and said, you know what, it's just not going to work this year.
It felt like a timing thing, right? Like if it would have been if they would have had a month to try to figure it out instead of it happening in Tinley and having 2 weeks to kind of decide what they were going to do, maybe you don't end up having to cancel it because you can come up with a better plan.
Right. But at that point they're sort of scrambling to figure out, how to get some security folks. And I wasn't in on those specific conversations, but that's my understanding of kind of how it went down. So.
Well, let's talk about an event that we're having on the 30th up and down 95th Street, the parade. How are the plans going, and is there anything different? Is there something new? How are you feeling about this parade?
So the parade itself, will be pretty much what we've come to expect. A lot of loud engines at the beginning to scare all the children, and then the specialty groups. We tried to kind of do an encouragement to people in the community with groups, whatever, sports groups, Girl Scout troops, Boy Scout troops, to kind of come and put an entry, but we weren't overwhelmed with it. So, and I understand that people, it's a big party day and holiday for people. Might not be easy to get all their kids together. So we'll see. We still got a couple days where people can sign up to get on board. But, we've got some marching bands. We got a lot of the specialty units that everybody's familiar with. So it's just going to be a great time. And, hopefully the weather continues as it has. And we're going to have another great fireworks show at Duffy. So I think we talked about this last year. We ended up going with a new fireworks purveyor for last year. And it's and the guy who is leading it is also a teacher at the high school, and he is enthusiastic about fireworks. And he put on a show last year that just blew everybody away. So he promises me it's going to be as good this year. So
yeah, that was an incredible fireworks show last year. It was one of those things where you sat there and said, "Wow," and the crowd was talking about it as it was happening. Like, is this what our fireworks show is like now? Like, it was insane.
Right? Yeah. They definitely took it up a notch. So he's back. Or the company's back, and he's leading it. So it'll be a great night.
I have another couple listener questions for you. This one came in through Facebook. What is the state of 95th Street businesses or storefronts increasing or decreasing right now?
The number of businesses?
Yeah, because every once in a while you see a storefront. I get this question. I think I've asked this question before to some of our trustees. The idea that you have storefronts, but some of them are kind of empty. And are they filling up? Are we still vibrant and healthy going up and down 95th?
We're doing great. We do have some, things come and go. And we do have some vacancies, but we have done a great job with filling them. There's things under development. I mean, some of them are not, jazzy things. There's a heating and cooling company that bought the building at 95th and St. Louis, and they're using it for an office and, to store some of their equipment. I mean, that's not exciting, but it's, a building that was purchased and, is paying taxes and contributing to the community. There's a dentistry office that purchased the buildings like 95th and Harding that had been vacant for a long time, and they're working through, their plans for putting in the dentistry office. We've got the old Archer Bank building at 95th and Spalding that was purchased by a group that is opening a Chipotle. Further east, we don't have a lot of vacancies. There's the old 79th Street Barbecue at 95th and Francisco that we've really been trying and would love to see a restaurant come in there. It's already got, all the infrastructure for a restaurant, which is some of the drawback with putting in a restaurant in a place that hasn't had a restaurant before. It's very expensive to get, all the pipes and the gas works and everything installed, but it's in here. So we've been really trying to work with the real estate folks and, tell them this would be a great spot for a restaurant. And I think they've had some inquiries. But other than that, going east, there's not a lot of vacancies at all.
That spot where you're talking about the restaurant, I mean, being so close to Little Company of Mary, I always feel like if you're next to a hospital, you're going to have people who are going to come across and eat. And so it's a good thing to have places like that.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think it's a great location for a restaurant. It's a good size. It's not, it's not too big. It's not too overwhelming for somebody to take on. It's just finding the right, the right fit.
One more listener question for you. This one the question was, if somebody wanted to get involved in Evergreen Park government more than just attending board meetings, do you have any suggestions as to how they could get more involved?
Yeah, so we have some boards and commissions that we have folks on, and I think currently, all of them are fully staffed right now, and these are all citizens, who volunteer their time to, so we've got the zoning board, we've got the traffic safety commission, we have the environmental commission, the parks board. So we've, got people who have volunteered for those, but people kind of come and go, they have an interest in doing something like that for a couple of years, and then they, are ready to move on. So on our website, I think we have now I wish I was prepared for this because I don't want to misspeak, but I believe on our website we might have a boards and commissions application form.
You have everything on that site right now. It's been it's so amazing, the difference of that website from like 2 years ago. It's insane. Yeah.
So, but if they can't find it on the website, they can call my office at 708-422-1551, and we'll get them the application. And then, it'll at this point, because I don't think we have any openings currently, it would stay there. But when we do have an opening, somebody retires or, just moves on, we can draw from interested people.
Awesome. Before I let you go, you're super busy. I can tell that. I can just tell when I call up and I'm like, I'd like to talk to her, and you're running around. You got so many different things that you're handling. Do you get to enjoy the summer? Do you have plans for the summer?
I do get to enjoy. We're taking a vacation to Michigan the July 4th week. It's also the week of my birthday, so I do not like to work on my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. So my family and I will go up to Michigan and just have a total chill week, enjoying the sun and the beach.
Awesome. Well, you've earned it because things are going pretty well around here, I would say.
Can I tout four different things we've got coming up that I do want people?
You got things to tout? Yes.
I have things to tout. So, we've been trying to, hear what people are looking for and provide some different, events and things like that. But we're a small village. We're real community oriented. We don't want to make it so big that it's, overwhelming for us. We want to give things a try. And if they, are successful, we can make them grow as it comes along. So we're having our food truck festival, which we tried last year, which was a huge success. It is July 27th, Thursday, July 27th. So it was so successful. The food trucks that were there told all their friends. So now instead of 3 food trucks, I think we've got 6 and a coffee cart, and, we'll have a bar set up, and there'll be ice cream treats and all the sort of fun stuff. We'll have the DJ out there again. So everybody come out for a real, great night on Thursday, July 27th. And then we're trying something new. I think a lot of people don't know that we actually have a liquor license at the driving range.
No, I didn't know you had a liquor license at the driving range.
Yes. So if you go to the driving range, you can, buy beer, have a glass of wine after. They've got a TV set up. You could have watched the U.S. Open. They do have a limited food situation too, but I talk to people who are like, oh, we order from Los Angeles and get the pizza delivered to the driving range and hang out there. So we decided to take advantage of it. The driving range manager is just a really inventive guy. He was actually our employee of the year this year. And I asked him, what do you think about kind of turning the driving range into like a little club a couple nights this summer and seeing how it goes? So we are doing it July 14th and then a day in August. I want to say August 25th. So Friday nights, we've hired some acoustic guitarists. We'll have drinks. We're going to have chairs all set out. We'll have some bean bags, just real low key. You don't have to drive. You don't have to golf or anything. It's just a hangout spot. It's a beautiful spot to watch sunset, listen to some music, have a drink with some neighbors and friends. You can bring your kids. It's just going to be a great night. You can have a beer, finish your beer, go take a walk through the park, come back, have another beer. So we're going to give those a try, and let's see if it's something people like. And then if it is, maybe we could expand it next year.
Awesome. You got a lot going on.
We try. We've had our thinking caps on all winter about all the fun stuff we're going to do in the summer. So.
Well, I appreciate you taking time to talk to us. And like I said, you are the number one requested thing on the EP podcast. So I look forward to talking to you again.
Well, I'd be happy to do it, Chris, and I hope you feel better.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. The EP podcast out on the scene at Cravings. If you have not found Cravings yet, I don't know what you've been doing in Evergreen Park. This little ice cream shop over on the corner of 99th and Kedzie is a favorite in my house. The kids walk up here all the time. My daughter worked there for a short amount of time. And Anna Zalis is sitting here with me. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Chris?
Good. 5 years, I heard, as Cravings, right?
Yep. We went independent 5 years ago, 2018.
Yeah, but you did ice cream in this spot.
Yeah, my dad had this spot
a long time.
25 years prior, so 30 altogether.
That's crazy to me. I mean, I always talk to people who want to start their own company, their own business. They're thinking about getting into tech. They're getting into like apps. They're getting into all these things. And you've made a living. Your family has made a living for all that time serving ice cream. Is that crazy? As crazy to you as it is to me? Because to me, it's like, wow, that's a long time to have ice cream as like the thing that you all do.
It is. And we've been serving families for years now, seeing them like yay high, barely able to see over the ice cream, and then now staring us in the eyes and ordering for their entire families. It's a really beautiful and touching thing, and we're really happy to be part of this experience.
How do you stop yourself from eating it all? Because you'd have to roll me out of here. They'd have to double up the door if I had access to ice cream all day long.
I have a one cheat day. If I open up the floodgates too early, then I'm done for.
It's like a bar owner can't pour a beer every day. That might knock them down a little bit. Exactly. So how many flavors of ice cream do you have here on average at any given time?
30 to 40, yeah.
Now, where do you get the ice cream from? Are you guys creating it? Are you working with somebody to get certain flavors? Are you doing research into what people like at certain times of the year? How do you figure that out?
A little bit of all that. We try to curate best of the season flavors. We get from local distribution nearby, but making our own is something we're looking into in the future as well. That's
awesome. Very cool. Are there things that are more popular at different times of the year? Like in some restaurants, they have like a spring menu or a fall menu. ice cream to me, I don't know if that happens. Are there things that you noticed certain times of the year you need something out there that you don't normally sell at other times of the year?
Yeah, it's definitely seasonal in terms of flavor. So like fruitier flavors in the summer, fall, more apple pie, those like deeper, richer flavors, and then eggnog and peppermint for the holidays. People wait all year for this and they buy it by the tub.
One of the things I've seen you sell in here a lot, which we just had somebody walk out before you sat down with me, and they said, normally I have to wait till I go to a carnival to get a funnel cake. And I have been here on nights where I see people come in 2, 3 in a row, and they're just getting funnel cakes from here. That you must do big business on just funnel cakes.
Yeah, that's our number one seller. They are to die for. Funnel cakes with sundaes on top. It is something you'll be craving literally over and over again, like hence our name, you know.
There are like these, they're massive when they come out. They're just, and people are carrying them out to their cars, and I'm like, they're not going to try to drive with that in their hands. Like, that seems crazy. I mean, you have people who come in here and get these, and then like you said, you make it into a sundae, you put the ice cream on top, you got all the toppings on it. It's insane. When did you start doing those? Is that something you've always been doing? Is that a new thing recently in the last couple of years?
We brought it out maybe a couple months right after we opened in 2018 as Cravings.
Okay. So you kind of mentioned it, the name Cravings. Is that the idea, finding like things that you wouldn't get normally in an ice cream shop that people sit there and say, yeah, I have a taste for this and I can't find it anywhere else?
Exactly, yep. And we have a lot of customers that are like, oh, I've just been craving this. And they're like, I love it. I get it. Like, yes.
That's awesome. You get a lot of kids from the neighborhood to come in here and work here. Do you kind of feel like now, after all these years, you get so many people that come walking in there that at some point sat behind that counter and dished out ice cream, and you probably know a lot of people in Evergreen Park just because of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. People still bring up like old times and all these different things, and just seeing kids, you know, like I mentioned, like barely able to talk, and now, you know, they have multiple siblings and they're 15, 16 years old. I'm like, whoa, you grew a foot since the last time I saw you. So
give me the ice cream that's your favorite. Do you go around and like, is it different all the time, or is it like there's a go-to for you?
Well, my name's Anna, so everyone used to call me Anna Banana, and banana is like also my favorite fruit. So banana pudding, hands down, my favorite. Second, key lime pie.
Key lime pie.
Yeah.
See, I'm one of those chocolate guys. Like, I like the little bits of like cookie in there, or like the Oreo, or the cookie dough, or something like that. Like, I go crazy on that. I can't. Some of these kids are like, I want like a cotton candy ice cream. I'm like, I can't even imagine wanting that for ice cream. People have different tastes, don't they?
It is. I feel like there's different personalities too for different taste buds. Like rainbow sherbet people, they always have like a wild side to them. The kids usually go fruity, but then you get like a very, you know, young person ordering a very, I don't know, mature flavor. Like a butter pecan, and a 5-year-old wants it. It always blows my mind.
That's awesome. You're right kitty corner of the high school.
Yes.
Is it better? Do you get like bigger business in the summer, or do you love it when the kids are in? Do they come filing in here after school?
Yeah, and there's actually summer school and summer programs too. But yeah, if you're coming around 3 o'clock, expect to have every seat taken, backpacks everywhere. People, we charge their phones half the time in the back.
Oh, that's
They're
awesome.
Waiting on rides. So it's a little safe haven for all of them, you know.
That's really cool. Really cool. Well, we're doing a thing called the Battle of Evergreen Park. We're going to put Cravings in there. So it's all the different like establishments, from the restaurants to bars to ice cream shops, and we're going to throw you in there. So it's going to kick off sometime here in the later part of the summer, but we're going to see how you're going to do. I don't even know where you're going to be in the seatings. We got to sit down. We got to figure this all out head to head. But I would think this place here could have some traction because you've got years and years and people coming here. You might have some people that are very loyal to Cravings.
Oh yeah, we are so proud even for this experience. So thank you.
That's awesome. Well, Anna, thank you so much for joining me on the EP podcast, and continued success here. I mean, what the heck? 5 years is Cravings, but like almost 3 decades, it sounds like, in the ice cream business for the family. That's amazing.
Oh, well, thank you, Chris. Thank you so much.
It's the EP Podcast, all things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast, Evergreen Park.